So today's section is going to be all about stretching, more about flexibility than strength. So it's not going to be overly energetic, but it should be quite nice and relaxing. So we're actually going to start on our backs. That's always a good way to start. So just get yourself lying down. Little kitty. Get some legs outstretched. So maybe just before we start, let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So just carry on breathing normally. If you haven't already done so, just close down the eyes and just take a moment to turn the attention inwards, quieting down the mind. Just let go of any thoughts of the past, anything that's happened today so far, just let it go. No plans for the future. And just focus on the moment, the present moment. And just realize that for the next 45 minutes, 50 minutes, you have nothing to think of, nothing you can do. So let's take one last deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Oh, letting go of any tension. And now as you inhale, reach the hands up above the head. And we're going to start with a nice big stretch down one side. So hold on to your right wrist with your left hand. So stretching up. And then as you exhale, give a pull on the wrists so that you're bending over to the left-hand side. You might want to lift your shoulders up and just sugar them over, and you can bend a little bit more. And just feel that stretch all the way down the right side. And if you want to increase it, just pick up your right foot and see how that feels when you cross it over your left ankle. So really stretching out everything. Try and keep your right shoulder on the ground. It might want to come up, but keep your right shoulder and your right hip still on the ground. Just stretching out. And you might even want to move your feet over further to the left so that you're curving round, kind of like a banana to one side. And really breathe into that side and try and imagine it all relaxing, letting go of its tension. Just enjoying the stretch. And then bring your body back to center. So bring your shoulders back and your feet back to center. Cross over your hands so that your right hand is holding your left wrist. And you might want to move your shoulders over to the right. Move your feet over to the right. You're keeping your hips where they are, so you're curving round. And then take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you can pull with your right hand onto your left wrist, stretching all down the left-hand side of the body. And if you want, you can cross your left foot over your right ankle. And just take a few really deep breaths here, enjoying that stretch. And you can just sort of feel any of the tension that you've been feeling or has built up through the day can just melt away. Let yourself come back to center. And we're just going to hug the knees, bring the knees into the chest, bring the arms around them. You can either stay flat on your back, or if you want, you can curl up, bringing the nose to the knees, which will also work your core. A couple of breaths here, and then relax. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. You can bring your palms down on either side of the body. You might want to walk your heels a little bit closer towards your bum. Just helps you get lift. We're going to do bridge pose. So as you inhale, push up your hips. And if you would like to stretch yourself a bit further, you can, if you would like, you can pick up the left leg from here and try to keep the hips pushing up to the ceiling. You should feel the glutes switch on. And then gently bring the left foot down. If it was raised, then bring the hips back down to the floor. We're going to do that again on the other side. So as you inhale, push up the hips. And only if you would like, stretch up the right leg up to the ceiling. And try and keep those hips lifted nice and high. And then bring the foot down and slowly lower the hips back to the ground. So from here, can you extend the right leg, and so it's flat on the floor, and then extend the right leg, and then pick up the left leg so that it's pointing up to the ceiling. Oh, that feels really nice because my legs are sore and tired because I've been on the bike. So just feel that stretch all along the back of the leg, and if you want to increase the stretch, just point or push your heel up towards the ceiling a little bit more, and you'll get better. It'll increase the stretch. Try and relax the shoulders if you're feeling them tensing up. And you can see what it's like. Just bend the knees up a little bit and then extend it again up to the ceiling. From here, let the left leg drop out to the side. And try and keep your right hip still pressing into the floor. You might want to take your hand and press down on the top of your right hip. It just kind of helps with balance. And again, to increase the stretch, just push your heel away from you. Then bring both legs back together, and we'll repeat that on the other side. You're going to keep your left leg extended flat on the floor and pick up the right leg. You can have a bend in it if you find it difficult to straighten it fully, but extend that leg upwards, kind of pushing as if you're trying to push your heel up towards the ceiling. And then take a deep breath in here, and as you exhale, let that leg fall out to the right hand side. I'm going to come in contact with a ball, so I'm going to bend myself over. And try and keep the leg so almost as if, so once the legs are open and down as far to the floor as comfortable for you, if you almost feel as if you're drawing the toes on that right foot closer towards your face almost, that's when you'll really feel more of a stretch. I won't stay here for long. Oh, I'm just going to bring the leg back up, and and then back down to the floor. I'm going to bend the knees again so my both feet are flat on the floor. Then I'm going to pick up the left foot and cross my left ankle over the top of my right knee. And then as I inhale, I draw the knee towards me and reverse pigeon. You can hold on behind the knee, or if you can't, if that's not comfortable, hold on to your pants legs, or you're going to hold on to the right foot. And if you want to increase the stretch in your left and the outside of the hip, you can push gently with your left hand on the inside of the left knee, just opening up, just gentle pressure, and only go as far as feels good for you. Close the eyes here, relaxing the facial muscles. Then let the right foot come to the floor. Extend the left foot so the foot's pointing, the sole of the foot's pointing to the ceiling, and hold on to the outside of the foot. If you can't reach comfortably, you can just hold on behind the knee. You'll get exactly the same stretch. If you want to feel by pulling downwards with your hands, you're guiding that left knee towards the floor or towards your armpits. Nice. And you don't have to be static in the pose. You can have some little movements in your knee, move your foot. That just helps the mobility in the knee and in the hip. From here, bring the left foot to the floor, and we'll repeat those two postures on the right side. Pick up the right foot, put your right ankle over your left knee, and then as you inhale, draw that knee in towards you. Try and keep your shoulders relaxed and down onto the floor. If they're coming up, then just maybe hold on and somewhere that's more accessible to you. And again, if you want to increase the opening in the hip, you can press gently on the inside of the right knee. Bring the sole of the left foot to the floor. We'll do half happy baby by holding on to the outside of the right foot with your right hand. And you should feel as if the foot's pushing up, the sole of the foot's pushing up to the ceiling, but the knee has been drawn down towards the floor. Opening up on the inside of the right hip joint. Then release the foot. I'm on two options here. So from reclined butterfly, so with the soles of the feet together, the knees apart, you can either just stay here, or if you want to try, just have a slightly bigger, so move your feet slightly apart, but everything's still in the same position. And from here, we're going to, in fact, bring your feet together again. Yeah, that's actually easier. Yeah, so we're just in reclined butterfly. Either stay here, or if you would like, we're going to try lifting up our hips. So it's like a combination of bridge and butterfly. Just stay here for a few breaths. It's just working different muscles in the thighs. And then slowly lower your hips back onto the ground, and then use your hands, close the knees together, and we're just going to give our knees a hug again, squeezing everything together. From here, we're just going to rock back and forth a couple of times, kind of massage the back, and then we'll come up to sitting. Stretch the legs out in front. We're just going to do some seated twists. So take the right foot, cross it over the left leg, so that the sole of the foot's flat on the floor. And then as you inhale, just lengthen up the torso. And as you exhale, bring the right hand behind you and just hug the right knee. So inhale, lengthening through the torso, as if the crown of the head's been pulled up to the ceiling. And exhale, twisting round. And then come back to center. Extend the right leg, cross the left over. We'll just do that on the other side. So inhale, lengthen up through the torso. And on the exhale, left hand comes behind, up in the fingertips. Hug the left knee with the right arm. And inhaling, lengthening on the inhale. And seeing if there's a bit more room on the exhale. A good way to do it is with, on the inhale, lengthen, and as you exhale, if you hold in your stomach muscles, quite often you might find you've got a little bit more room there to come round. So try that for a couple of breaths, see if you can see any difference. And come back to center. I might spin, so I'll just do it this way. So extend the left leg and bring the right foot into the left thigh. I'm going to turn around, it's just easier to see. This, and then we're going to do a side stretch. So inhale, roll the shoulders back. In fact, let's inhale, lift the arms up. It's easier to do it from here. And then as we exhale, coming over to the side. So we're in a side bend rather than not a forward one. So you're coming down to the side, but imagine as if you're trying to twist your torso around, almost as if you're trying to look at the ceiling. From the chest round and up towards the ceiling. And I quite like to bring my left elbow inside the thigh because that helps me twist down. And as ever, using the breath just to see if on each exhale, can we find, and do we want to, just go into the stretch a little bit more, if it feels good. On the inhale, come back up, and we'll do on the other side. So swap the legs over, extend the right leg, left foot comes into the thigh. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, coming over to the right side. Might want to hold onto the leg. You might be comfortable holding onto the toe. It really depends. I find it easier to reach my toes on this side. And to help with the twist, you can bring your right elbow inside your thigh. And you want to try and feel as if the left knee is as far as possible opening. So it's, gravity is helping it come closer to the ground. Inhale, come on up. Extend both legs. You might want to just adjust the way you're sitting so that you're comfortable on the floor. And again, inhale, reaching up so that you're really pulling, the hands are being pulled up towards the ceiling. And exhale, we're going to fold forward from the hips. So you don't want to come over yet, so try and keep a flat back for now. So inhale, lengthen, and maybe on the exhale you can come down a little bit more. Oh, I really feel that in my inner thighs. Nice stretch there. So to come out, inhale, walk the hands back towards the body, and we're just going to come up into hands and knees. So bring the legs together, swing them round onto hands and knees, and we'll do some cat and cow, stretching out the spine. So you all know this one, so do it in time with your own breath, nice and slowly. So first of all, dropping the belly, opening the chest, looking up, and really try and isolate all parts of the spine as you tuck the tailbone in, push the chest, the back up to the ceiling, drop the chin to the chest. Really working through all the different parts and bones in the spine. I'm really trying to marry up the motion with the breath. One more here. Okay, so carrying on working the back. What's happened to my hair? Okay, so thread the needle. So start with a nice twist. So pick up the right hand, twisting round to the right, and then as you exhale, threading the needle of the right hand underneath the left arm. Keeping the hips nice and raised, so the hips are above the knees. And if you would like, just to increase the stretch in your back, you can walk the hands of the fingers of the left hand up above the head. So to come out, place the left hand beside your head and come back onto all fours. We'll do that on the other side. So lift up the left hand, twisting round to the left. And as you exhale, thread the needle under, bringing the left shoulder, left side of the face to the floor. And you can bring the fingertips up above the head. Which will just help increase the stretch, particularly in the upper back. Bring the hand beside the face. Come back up onto all fours. Let's just do one more cat-cow. Just one, just stretching out the vertebrae. From here, we're going to come on, walk the hands forwards, come onto the forearms, and then stretch the legs out. And from here, we'll do Sphinx. So your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. And to stretch the lower back, you imagine that you're pulling your arms kind of closer to you. So as if your elbows are pulling against the floor towards the body. And you should feel that in the lower back. And then from here, we'll do side Sphinx. So pick up the right hand and put it at 45 degrees across your chest. Bring the left hand on your fingertips to the side of the body. And then we'll just twist round, but try and keep both hips on the floor so that the twist is coming from the back. We'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. And then lower back into Sphinx. So put both forearms on the floor. Then put the left one 45 degrees. Come up on the right fingertips. And use your right arm to help you twist round to the right. Again, keeping both hips on the floor. Lower back onto Sphinx, then bring the hands underneath underneath the chest or to the sides of the chest. We're going to come back onto all fours. And from here, you might want to walk the hands a little bit forward because we're going to come up into a very quick down dog. Don't worry if you're not a big fan. Push the hips up and back. Walk out the feet. Just enjoy the nice stretch in the back. And from here, we're just going to walk the feet forward till they're in between the hands. Then slowly roll up. Rolling the shoulders back. From here, turn and face the long side of your mat. Bring the hands, so both feet pointing forwards, hands to the hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, fall forward. And then when you've come as far as is comfortable, you might want to drop the hands to the floor. And so feel as if the chest is coming down towards the floor. And from here, we're going to put in a nice twist. So you can put your left hand on your left hip, and then bring the right hand over to the left ankle so that you're twisting that. Now, if you can't reach all that way, that's okay. Just come over as far as is comfortable. Maybe your hand, rather than being round on your foot, is on your calf. Twisting round to the left. If you would like, and it works for you, you can raise the arm up instead, but keeping it on the hip spine. That'll still help you twist. Then bring both hands back to the floor. And then this time we'll go over to the other side. So you can walk your hands over to the right. Maybe you're holding onto your calf, your shin, your ankle, or the outside of the foot. And then for the twist, bring your right hand onto your right hip. That will help you twist round. And it's okay to have a slight bend in the knee here. You don't want to put any strain in your knee by having them too locked straight. And again, you can raise the hand up to the ceiling. And then slowly come back down to center. And then to get up, you can bring the hands to the hips, or you can help yourself up with your hands on your thighs. And slowly come up with a flat back. And then come back up to the top of the mat. And we'll just flow through, and we'll end up in child's pose, because I'm going to have to stop the call. So the only flow of the class. So inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, bring the hands to the floor. And from here, just come back into downward dog. Then drop the knees and come into child's pose, whichever one you would prefer. Either knees apart or knees together. Walk the hands forward, bring the forehead to the floor. And just surrender here. So bring yourself into, if you're not already there, into wide-legged child's pose. So knees apart, toes together. Helping open up the hips. As we're just going to do 2 hip opening moves. So walk the hands back towards you, bring the knees in so you're on all fours. Come up into down dog. Lift up the right foot. And from here, you're going to bring the foot forward, but to the outside of the right hand. So not in between the hands like you normally do, outside the hand. So I'll take a moment to get you. If this is okay, everybody, let's just drop the knee. Yep. So you should feel this on the right hip. So you have the option to come down lower onto your forearms, but that's quite a big stretch. That's a big stretch for me. So I'm probably going to stay up, but just with a little bend in my elbows. And if you would like, entirely up to you, you can either stay here with your knee on the ground, or you could tuck your toes under. And if you want a little bit more of strength work, you can lift the knee off the floor. We won't stay here for long. Just one more breath. So if the knee was raised, lower it to the floor. And from here, we're going to move into pigeon. So you want to move. That was a bit inelegantly done. So I move my left foot so that it's behind my left wrist. Not my left foot. My right foot is behind my left wrist. My right knee is behind my right wrist. And then you'll probably want to just move the back leg back to give yourself some more room. So you have a couple of options here. You can stay here up on your hands with the chest raised, or you can come down onto your forearms. Or if you would like, walk the hands forward with the forehead on the floor. So whatever works for you. But you don't want to feel as if you get any pressure on your knee. And if you do, just come out of the pose and go back into child's pose. And this can be pigeon pose, can be quite a meditative pose, so you can close your eyes, listen to the breath. And then to come out, just lift the head, walk the hands back towards the body, tuck the toes under. And then from here, just come back onto all fours. And what's quite nice here is just stretch the right leg out. So put the toes on the floor, push toes back, and that really feels nice after the 2 hip openers that we did. So from here, we're going to repeat on the other side. So you're going to tuck your toes under, push up into downward dog, just so we can transition. From here, lift up the left leg, and then look forward between the hands. Bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand. So as before, you have the choice of either dropping the knee. See how that feels? It's just easier in the legs if you drop the knee. Or you can tuck the toes under and lift up the knee, which is a more kind of extreme stretch. You can also, if you're flexible enough, which I'm not really, experiment with coming down on your forearms. And from here, we're going to transition into pigeon. So I would bring the knee back to the ground, and then you're going to move your left foot. So you might want to just walk it over, let heel toe over so that the foot is behind the right wrist and the knee is behind the left wrist. Then move the body back to give yourself more room. Take a deep breath in, and you can either stay here on the palms or walk down on your forearms, or walk the hands forward and bring the forehead to the floor. And we'll just stay here for a few breaths. Over the 3 breaths. Now I've just got to do something with my camera. Okay. There we go. From here, come out of the posture, walk the hands back towards the body, tuck the right toes under to lift the left foot up, and so that you can come back onto all fours. And that's quite an extreme stretch, so it's quite nice just to stretch out the left leg behind you, curl the toes under, and then push the heel away from you, just to get the blood flowing in the leg. And then from here, come back onto all fours, swing the feet out, drop the hips, and come into a seating position. Stretch the legs out in front. Check your sitting bones. You might want to kind of pull your bum out on either side. Just means that you're more connected, better seating position. As you inhale, roll the shoulders back. And as we exhale, we're going to fall forward over the extended legs. And once you've come as far as is comfortable for you, you can drop the head, close down the eyes. Inhale, walk the hands back up, and then we're going to open the legs wide again, and again bend the right knee. But this time you're going to look out to the extended left leg. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, fall forward over that leg. So the right knee pressing open and down. Try not to let it come up. And using the breath Relax into the forward fold. Close down the eyes. So inhale, walk the hands up. Just do a nice counter pose. So bring the right hand behind the body. And then we'll sweep the arm up and back as we raise the hips. We've got a nice back bend. And bring the hips back down to the ground. Flop the legs over. So lift your hips up so that you're turned to face the extended right leg. You want the knee to be pressing down, but mine doesn't go very far on this side. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, falling forward. And you can hold on wherever is accessible for you. Might be on the calf, might be on the thigh, might be at the ankle. I'm holding onto the toes. Listen to the breath. As we're coming towards the end of class. It's all been pretty slow, to be honest, today, but slowing down. Walk the hands back towards the body. Bring the left hand to the floor behind. Push the hips up. Sweeping the right arm up and back. Bring the hips back to the ground. And we're just going to, so keep the knees bent. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. And we'll just let the knees flop over to the right. And then over to the left. And then the right. And the left. So now we're just going to, you can carry on doing that actually, but we're going to meet when we're on the floor. So extend both legs, and we'll finish with a twist. Bring hug the right knee into the chest. Nice hug all the way in. Then take the left hand to the outside of the knee. Stretch the right arm out. And take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, bring the knee over to the side. And you might want to hook the foot behind the leg. This very much depends on your own flexibility. But you probably won't like it if you feel as if you're just dangling here. You want a bit of support. So you can place your foot wherever best helps you. So you should feel the stretch all the way from your right fingertips, almost all down the arm, across the right shoulder, across the chest, and the back, the hips. And then gently roll onto your back again, extend the right leg, and this time hug the left knee into the chest. Give it a good squeeze. Bring the right hand to the outside of the knee. Stretch out the left arm. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, guide the knee over towards the floor on the right hand side. And you want to keep your left shoulder in connection with the floor. If it's coming up, it's less of a twist. So on your next inhale, gently roll onto your back. Oh, stretch out the left leg, stretch out the right leg, so that your feet are kind of on the edges of your mat. Extend the arms to either side. We'll just move into Shavasana. Maybe tuck the chin in slightly to elongate the neck. Make sure you're warm and comfortable, so feel free to go grab something if you're not. Close down the eyes. So just notice how you're feeling in all parts of the body. Quite a few good stretches today. Does your body feel any different for that? Can you notice any difference in your muscles? But just observe and appreciate the way your body feels. Notice how your breath feels, quality of your breath. Are you breathing deeply, evenly? And with every exhalation, just enjoy that sensation as your muscles relax. You relax and sink even more deeply and heavier into the floor. Feel all the tension ease away from the body as you fall deeper and deeper into relaxation. Now just allow yourself to make some small movements in your fingers and your toes. Feel some energy coming back into the body. Become more aware of the room around you. Bend the knees. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Rock the knees from side to side. You bring the arms up above the head. Give your arms a nice stretch. You're just waking up in the morning. And then when you're ready, roll over onto one side. You can stay here for a moment, no rush. When you're ready, bring yourself up into a seated position. You can keep your eyes closed. Roll the shoulders back and down. And just bring the hands in front of the heart, palms together. And we'll just finish with a deep breath. Well, let's do it 3 times. So just inhale through the nose, out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And finally, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just bow the heads. Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
Well, thank you very much for coming and joining me.